Alien Rogue Incursion is a highly anticipated action horror game launched later this year on PSVR2 on December 19th for $39.99 USD for the standard edition and for $49.99 for the deluxe edition that contains some extra cosmetics. I recently discovered an article from GameRant that went a little bit under the radar, in which Mr. Dominic Bosnack interviewed the Chief Product Officer at Survios, Mr. TQ Jefferson. This article reveals a lot of interesting details on Survio's upcoming VR game, so I thought I should make a video on this and keep you guys in the loop. Now, I'm not gonna read the entire article because it's very long. What I'm gonna do instead is focus on the most important parts of this interview, the parts that I know for a fact you will be interested in. So when asked about how VR is different from PC games, the Chief Product Officer responded by saying that there are three major differences. Quote unquote, one of the most obvious is in narrative. In VR, you're the camera, which means you can't do dramatic cutaways to show you what's happening elsewhere in the world. Storytelling must be primarily first person and in real time. With the Alien franchise, the story is critical. So we needed to find creative ways to present the story to the player with this unique set of considerations in mind. Another is performance. Running at a smooth and comfortable frame rate and visual fidelity. We decided early on to go with a more realistic art style to show off the xenomorphs to the best effect and create the deepest sense of immersion possible. Folks may not realize this, but for VR to function, you have to render everything twice, once for each eye. The level of detail, number of physicalized objects, number of xenomorphs, number of visual effects, lighting, and more, all impact performance. Everything in the game must be designed and then tuned with performance in mind. Finally, a major difference that stands out to me is how you physically use your equipment in VR. The way you reload your pulse rifle, inject yourself with health, or cut open a door with your plasma torch. In VR, the player actually performs those motions. In PC/console, those are done with button presses that trigger an animation to play. It's a markedly different experience. All these and more contribute to creating presence, or the sensation of literally being in the world of Alien. Now, as I'm sure you all know at this point, the protagonist in Alien Rogue Incursion is Zula Hendricks. Hardcore Alien fans might recognize her, but for the rest of us, this character remains a mystery. And that is why the interviewer here asked Mr. Jefferson to tell us a little more about this character and where does she fit in the Alien universe. The Chief Product Officer at Survios responded by saying that as soon as they decided that the game is going to be first-person story-rich action horror game where you fight xenomorphs head-on, the choice for Zula Hendricks was pretty easy. Zula Hendricks is the former colonial marine who was injured in her first deployment and cast out of the corps. As a result, she is left to find her way in a world suddenly bereft of structure and purpose. In her travels, she meets David-01, a combat synthetic who has transcended his programming and makes his own choices. The two grow strong bonds through the adversity and battles against the xenomorph threat, vowing to wipe them out wherever they find them. Zula embodies everything we want the player to do and experience in the game, a trained and capable fighter who knows what she's getting into and is willing to jump in any way, which is precisely what the player is doing when they choose Alien Rogue Incursion. In addition to the character details, we also got some new information on the planet that we will be discovering in the game, named Purdon. And apparently this planet was created by Survios. Quote unquote, it is almost covered entirely by silicate salt. It's considered a dead rock where terraforming didn't completely take hold. Zula journeys there where Benjamin Carver, a former squad mate who once saved Zula's life back in the former colonial marine days, goes missing. Zula heads to Purdon to find out what happened to her friend. On Purdon, she and David-01 discover that Gemini Exoplanet Solutions, a corporate competitor to Weyland-Yutani, has expanded from mineral extractions into more sinister R&D involving xenomorphs. Of course, when we talk about Zula Hendricks, about aliens and xenomorphs, about the idea of a built from the ground up VR alien game, a lot of people get very excited real quick because they're fans of the franchise. However, other people who are interested in playing Alien Rogue Incursion, but at the same time they're not really familiar with the franchise, those people might worry that they won't be able to process everything that's going on in the game since they don't have any knowledge whatsoever about this universe. Luckily for them, and according to Survios' Chief Product Officer, quote-unquote, you don't need to know everything about the Alien franchise to follow the story in our game. Of course, there will be tons of content to surprise and delight fans, like the iconic motion tracker and the pulse rifle, but there will also be nods to all of the films in the franchise. We never want the player to feel lost, like they're out of the loop or need to do anything other than play the game to understand the story. And finally, after being asked what he hopes fans will think after playing Alien Rogue Incursion, the developer said that he hopes that they played a great VR game. He thinks Survios nailed it, and he hopes that fans will want to see more of this game. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that was revealed in this article. I'm honestly super excited to play as Zula Hendricks, and I am super ready to kick some Xenomorph ass when Alien Rogue Incursion launches on PSVR2 this December. Everything about this game speaks to me, and at this point, I'm just waiting to get my hands on the game, but that's just me. What about you? Are you excited for Alien Rogue Incursion? What do you think about the new details that we went through in this video? Let me know in the comments below. And that's gonna have to do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, take care.
I will have carved my name on the surface of this planet with a smoking crater. Zula Hendricks, signing off.